Doing target 1D unit conversions, and your learning objectives for this lesson are: you will apply units consistently when solving a real world problem, and you will answer problems using the desired units with an exact answer. So here's some unit conversions. I do want you to write these down. 60 minutes equals 1 hour. You probably know that. You also probably know that 12 inches equal 1 foot. You might know that 3 feet equals 1 yard. And you probably don't know that 1,760 yards equals 1 mile. Here are some examples of conversions you might be asked to do, and these would be the easier ones. 108 inches equals 3 yards. 131 minutes equals 2 hours and 11 minutes. So, here's a practice problem. An airplane travels 1,600 miles in 240 minutes. What is its average speed in miles per hour? So, first things first, look at what is being asked. In this case, it's the average speed in miles per hour. And you need to convert the data in the problem to the appropriate units. So we need to convert, right now we've got miles to minutes, we need to convert the minutes to hours though. So we can leave the miles as they are. We're going to convert the minutes by saying, okay, there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So in 240 minutes, how many hours is that? So we make ratios, 60 minutes to 1 hour, 240 minutes to how many hours. And the minutes here are both on top, the hours are both on the bottom. That has to remain consistent. So then you cross multiply and divide. So we take the 60 times the x to give you 60x. 1 times 240 is just 240. So you get 60x equals 240. You would divide both sides by 60 to get x by itself. And you get x equals 4 hours. Now, you would need to do, because we're not done, we know it went 1,600 miles in 4 hours. We need to find out how many miles it went in 1 hour. So we divide by the number of hours to get the number of miles in 1 hour. So we take that 1,600 miles and divide it by 4 hours, which reduces to 400 miles in 1 hour. So we write it as 400 miles per hour. Okay, so here's an example of a similar problem. A train travels 800 miles in 200 minutes. What is its average speed in miles per hour? So again, we're asking in miles per hour. So we have 60 minutes in 1 hour is 200 minutes in x hours. So again, you cross multiply and divide. You get 60x times equals 200, and x equals 200 divided by 60, which is 3.3 repeating hours. So you then take that 800 miles and divide it by 3.3 repeating hours, because again, that's how long it took us to go. That's how many miles we went in that amount of time, which gives you an average speed of 240 miles per hour. Okay, so even though this came out to be a decimal that was repeating, it still comes out to a nice even number. So again, fairly easy. Just if you need to, go back, and what I have in red here, write down these steps or something similar to it. Okay, so let's move on past this. Let's try another practice problem. So Jose is 6'2", and we need to find his height in total inches. So we know that there's 12 inches in 1 foot, and we need to find out how many inches are in 6 feet. So we can say cross multiply and divide again. So we've got x times 1, or just x, equals 12 times 6, which is 72. So we know there's 72 inches in 6 feet. Notice I left the inches off because I only want to convert the feet. That 2 inches is already in what the problem's being asked, is inches. So we only needed to convert this part here. All right. So don't forget to add those extra 2 inches back. 72 inches is 6 feet, but he's 6'2". So we take that 72 plus 2, which is 74 inches. So Jose's height is 74 inches. So, similar problem. A volleyball game is 74 minutes long. How long is this game in hours and remaining minutes? So what we want to do is, before we even get to this step, we need to say, okay, so I know that there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, right? So I need to take 74 and subtract 60 from it. So that's going to give me 14 remaining minutes. All right, and the reason why I don't continue to subtract 60 is because 14 is less than 60. Let's say, okay, this is separate from this problem, but let's say we're talking about movies, and a movie's 208 minutes long. So I divide 160, which would give me 148. Divide it, or not divide, subtract another 60, which would give me 88. Subtract another 60, which would give me 28. I can't subtract 60 from that, so I have 60 plus another 60 plus another 60, which is 180. And I would take that 180 and throw it over here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But at any rate, so we've got, in this case, 1 times 60 is 60, and 60 times x is 60x. So you would have 60x equals 60, or when you divided both sides by 60, you'd just get x equals 1. So 1 hour, and again, don't forget to add the remaining 14 minutes back in, because it asks how long the game is in hours and remaining minutes. So the game was 1 hour and 14 minutes long. Some tips. Make sure that your answer makes sense. For example, planes do not travel at 80 miles per hour, nor do they travel at 8,000 miles per hour. So just think about the problem and see if your answer makes sense in the context of the problem before you go checking off answers on the test, okay? Please, that you should be able to eliminate a couple answers right off the bat just by doing that. And then think about it again, okay? I can't stress enough that you need to make sure that your answer makes sense. That doesn't mean that the answer is going to jump out at you and there's only going to be one correct answer just by doing that. You're going to have to do some math on some of these, but it should help you from putting a wrong answer down. Again, another short one for you guys. Enjoy it. Last one of the unit, so start preparing for that test. That is all.